Watching Breakfast Central on News Central TV, let's head down to Zambia, where the government is escalating plans to ensure traditional ceremonies become a source of revenue through tourism. The President, Hakainde Hichilema, has heightened engagement with all traditional leaders, stating that government will not interfere in matters related to succession of traditional leaders of any chiefdom. Joining us is Livingstone Tourism Association LTA Acting Chairperson Hilary Kashempa. Many thanks for joining the program once again. Now, we've seen the successful hosting of Kashempa's ceremony, which 2 years ago couldn't take place because obviously of the COVID-19 pandemic. Can you tell us a little bit more about that ceremony and how it took out or how it displayed this time around?
Okay, thank you very much. It is actually one of the biggest ceremonies that we do have as a country, and we are very proud of it. And it was quite a joyous moment to see it take off this time around in 2022. Obviously, like you have rightly said it, we could not hold it in the last 2 years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But we are glad that we have so far successfully held it this year around, and it's a huge a ceremony, and it is just one of those ceremonies that highlights something which is to note about this ceremony is that you would like to add the word, just a glamour to it as well, because it has just that unique display that comes along with it, and it's actually one that you cannot quite compare to any other. It has a lot of unique features to it. It actually symbolizes a time when the king, the Litunga himself, moves from his flooded area. This usually happens at the end of the rain season, to the other place which is fairly dry, and it is just held in such a spectacular way whereby the whole area actually gets to be involved in this particular highlight, and it's open as well to visitors and other tribes all across the country. And that is what's unique actually about ceremonies in the entire country. They are not that exclusive, they are actually inclusive. Everybody who wants to be a part of it is actually welcome, and we believe this is why it also brings in that unity factor. So it's actually very, very important to actually promote these traditional ceremonies, and usually they are a joyous moment, and it's a time that we get to interact and connect with everybody. Backgrounds at this particular point are actually ignored. It's actually about the moment, and everybody becomes and is part of that actual ceremony. Particularly this Kashempa ceremony, actually there is a lot of pre-events that will be happening all across the country. There was a lot of preparations, just for this particular ceremony. And of course, the actual ceremony was held in Western Province around Mungu. But basically, it is a ceremony that actually also helps, unite the country. It's actually fun to be a part of this ceremony, and this is the reason why it actually attracts so many people. And particularly, I'm very happy that the locals themselves, begin to appreciate, and we're actually looking forward to this actual ceremony, which gives me a lot of hope that we'll keep our tradition alive for a very long time to come, because I think that's where it starts from, when the locals themselves feel they have a huge part to play.
All right. The president has come out to say that it's high time Zambia monetizes every single thing, aside from the Kashempa, and not forgetting to the entire tourism of Zambia. What's the possibility of this? Was he really, really looking forward to do this anytime soon?
We believe that the president so far, apart from just making a lot of pronouncements, especially tourism related, he's actually gone a step further in demonstrating some of these moves. Currently, we believe the president has taken the role seriously of being the chief marketing officer of this country, and we have hope that in that regard or in that area, he will actually be delivering. So far, he's already attended 2 significant traditional ceremonies in the last 2 or 3 days. The Komboka ceremony itself, and we believe that it is the right direction to take as a head of state. It just also signifies that importance of all these traditional ceremonies that we do have, and so far we believe that he is on track delivering in that area, and would like to support him as much as possible. And we are hoping all other government departments, and also those that are very specific to marketing and making sure that all events of this nature take place, also take it very seriously and just follow that lead. Otherwise, we've got a good starting point on this particular subject.
Now, Hilary, we also understand that the president has been proactive with his presence that was well known at the Dubai Expo that just took place a few months back. Now, can you also help us understand, as the acting chairperson of Livingstone Tourism Association, what is the plan that is being put in place with the COVID-19 that seem to be here to stay, and tourism being put in place to ensure that the internally generated revenue in Zambia is at par? What are you doing in terms of COVID-19 rules and tourism side by side?
Okay, thank you very much. Having learned our hard lessons from the pandemic, one thing I would say, the tourism industry had actually taken, every measures, every steps that would just lower the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic seriously. The tourism industry has been very, very consistent. I mean, in making sure that we keep up with the fight against COVID and make sure that the spread is actually lowered. I'm happy that government seems now to have understood the impact of the COVID and restrictions that were put on the tourism industry, how it further affected the industry. I think government will take a slightly different angle because most of the pronouncements in the past 2 years were very negative on the industry, but government, I believe, has finally now understood that they have to deliberately make policies and just announce regulations that will help the industry, as opposed to making it hard to recover. The president at one point actually mentioned that they have realized that most of the restrictions that were imposed, especially on the tourism-related businesses, did not actually help reduce the spread of the pandemic, but rather just made the situation for the tourism industry worse, as it crippled it much further. But basically, we feel we are getting on top of things. In the next less than a week, we are having a very prominent holiday, which is the Easter. The tourism industry here is ready to host numbers. They have been double checking and making all necessary checks to make sure that the spread of the virus is kept to a minimum, and we're able to host huge numbers. And we're hoping also government will be very much stable. I think that is a key thing also, to be very much stable throughout the year and the years to come in terms of policy guidelines and regulations when it comes to the tourism industry in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic. Because from the past, we have learned a very hard lesson. As soon as we had a small window of recovery, sometimes it was just on regulation or policies that made the industry suffer further. But we are hoping that we have, together with government, have learned this lesson, and we approach the tourism industry with a slightly a different approach, and making sure that at any given time we don't put the industry on the disadvantage.
Right. All right. Thank you. I like the fact that you are being proactive and planning for the week, with the Easter in just a few days away. But thank you so much, Acting Chairperson Hilary Kashempa, Livingstone Tourism Association.